And we begin with a news alert tonight out of the West Valley.
That's right. 3 people have been shot, maybe more, near the Glendale police station. All of this information just coming into our newsroom.
So this is happening near 57th Avenue and Ocotillo. That is just south of Glendale Avenue. It's a big police presence. Ambulances on the scene as well. We are expecting a public information officer to speak to us at any moment.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and wait for that. We are getting set up, our shot. We do know that the scene is extremely crowded. Lots of police cars, lots of sirens, lots of lights.
All right.
Let's go ahead and send it
Well,
to
thank you all for being here today, or tonight, I should say. My name is Officer Maroney Mendez with the Glendale Police Department. I am the Public Information Officer. My first name is spelled M-O-R-O-N-I. Last name is M-E-N-D-E-Z. And obviously the reason we're here tonight is because of the chaotic scene that I have behind me just to the south. Pretty much at 7:45, we got multiple calls of a shooting that happened at an establishment just to my south, 57th Drive in Lamar. Like I said earlier, it's very chaotic. We have very little information that we can share at this time. We have multiple officers here on scene. We have detectives on their way. What I can confirm is that there are multiple people shot. I know you guys wish to have more. Unfortunately, there's not much more I can say for now. At 9:30 p.m., we're scheduled to have a briefing with detectives and investigators and officers, supervisors, pretty much everyone involved. And hopefully after that, I can provide more details to you guys. You guys might have questions. I'll do my best to answer them. Unfortunately, like I said, and I'll repeat, there's very little information I can share right now.
Is this area safe right now to the public?
It is safe to the public right now. We believe it is safe to the public, yes. The number is closer to 9 now. I can't confirm whether that is the actual number, but it is more than 3 now, yes.
Something with security shooting, with officers, no officer fired, right? Security shooting, or also.
That's a great point you bring up. No officers fired their weapons. This is not an officer-involved shooting. And as far as I was told, security was also not involved in the shooting.
Was there believed to be more than one shooter?
That is believed to be the case, yes, more than one shooter.
Do we just confirm again the location and the initial time of call?
7:45 p.m. is when those calls started coming in, and it's just to my south. There's an establishment down there, 57th Drive in Lamar.
Is that a bar?
What is the name of that establishment?
El Gran Camarón.
I stepped in a little late, so you said right now it looks like there's 9 people that, at least 9 people that were shot.
Approximately 9 victims, yes.
Have you heard any fatalities so far?
That's information that I hope to provide to you guys at around 9:30 after we have that briefing.
Extensive scene. I take it we're looking at a several-hour-long investigation at this point.
Yeah, it's an enormous scene. It's going to be several hours before this whole thing is cleared up. We'll probably be working well into the daytime hours.
Do you have anyone in custody right now?
Nobody's in custody right now.
Any indication of what was going on or what led to it?
No, not at this point. We don't know quite just yet how this all happened. It's one of those things that hopefully as the night progresses, if we can, we'll share that to you guys.
Right now we heard from some police agency they kind of ran out of there for their own safety, are right now trying to find any witnesses too. I know we are having issues trying to get an interview.
There's plenty of people that stayed. There's plenty of people that left. You know, that's a good point you bring up. If anyone has any information as to what happened tonight, what occurred, who did what, who was involved, please contact the Glendale Police Department. Our number is 623-930-3000. If you wish to remain anonymous, you can contact a silent witness at 480-WITNESS.
So you have nobody in custody. Does that mean the shooters were shot and killed?
That's a great question. Hopefully after our 9:30 briefing, I can answer that for you.
Was it a shootout, or were there people just shooting at people?
There was shots being fired. Anything else?
And just to confirm, there are no apprehensions at the moment. No one's been under arrest.
Correct. No apprehensions at the moment. There's quite a few people detained, and we're trying to investigate whether they're suspects, victims, witnesses, investigative leads. But there are multiple people that our officers and detectives are speaking to.
Several road closures in the area, obviously. You know, Grand Avenue is affected at this time.
Grand Avenue in a northeast or southwest direction is not affected. Obviously, up here where Glendale Avenue and 57th Drive meet, you cannot come south. Over to my southeast, I believe it's 5, 6, and Lamar, you cannot come west. And then obviously this area southwest of me is also closed off.
And Firebird is not in the air, so they're not searching around the area.
Correct. They did offer to help, and they are not in the air anymore. All right. So like I said, 9:30, we'll meet down there. Hopefully they give me more information I can share to you all.
Are you expecting to do another briefing tonight, or just another?
All right, so you just heard from Glendale Police right now. You're looking live at the scene. This is 57th and Ocotillo in Glendale. A shooting happening around 7:45. Police telling us 9 people have been shot. We know that at least 2 of those people confirmed dead. They do not have anyone in custody. In fact, they're reaching out to the public for help. So that means suspects are still on the loose. They said at least 2 shooters. And again, we have a reporter on the scene right now, Nicole Christine. You can bring us the very latest. Nicole, what is the scene? It looks enormous.
Yeah, this is an enormous scene, Ashley and Brian. When we were pulling around, traffic, a big issue out here. There is a lot of roads blocked, and as you mentioned, Grand Avenue maybe not at this time blocked off, but this investigation just getting underway. You can see just a sea of blue and red blinking lights there. That is just a portion of the response out here tonight. Of course, Glendale PD sharing what they could with us a few minutes ago. I think the biggest takeaways, you mentioned that there are approximately 9 victims, that it is believed the area is safe to the public, but they have not apprehended anyone at this time. So we are left to infer whether perhaps one of the shooters, there is believed to be more than one shooter, was either shot or taken down. We don't know at this point, but we know that no one has been officially arrested. There are some people that were detained, but again, it is believed that the area is safe to the public. Now, another thing, our photojournalist Jamin Walker, he was on scene before I got on scene tonight, and he did share with me that he spoke to multiple witnesses that were not willing to go on camera, perhaps just shaken up by this, understandably, but they did say that there were several shots, that they were very loud, that they believed there was some sort of altercation that then led to this, and that there was a big scene in the parking lot as well. Now, when we drove by earlier, it was kind of hard to see super clearly into the establishment area, but you could tell that this was a place where there was a lot of outdoor space, and there was also a large parking lot. It looked like that was where one of the centralized areas of the units were. So we do know that it was around one establishment, seems to be either a restaurant, a bar of some sort that is there. But at this point, a lot of things that we are still trying to figure out from Glendale Police. Again, you heard that they're going to be doing a brief at about 9:30. So that's looking at about 20 minutes until we'll be getting some more information, if not a little later than then. But we will continue to stay out at this scene, continue to bring you the latest, especially the conditions of those victims. We know that several of them were taken from the scene, but we do not know if anyone has died or if the shooter or potentially shooters have been apprehended at this time. So a lot to, unfold at this point still, but it's good to know that things seem to be a little bit under control as far as any activity that could be dangerous to the public, but please avoid this area. We're going to bring you the information that you need, but please just stay safe and stay away from this area tonight until this has been cleared, which is probably going to be, quite a few hours. So we'll be out here, though, later on in the show.
Nicole, I've been around this town almost 20 years off now, and I can't remember any time there were 9 victims at the same shooting scene. We were watching the video earlier. Looked like young and old victims as well, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know anything about the ages? And can you describe, are we talking about a residential area? You said parking lots. Is that more shopping, industrial? What does it look like around you?
Yeah, I would definitely describe it as more of like kind of the heart of downtown. I believe one of the signs right by the establishment says, "Welcome to downtown Glendale." So this is an area that is a lot of restaurants, other buildings. Of course, it's a Sunday night, so you would expect that there aren't going to be a ton of things open, so probably a restaurant of some sort of bar. But you did make the point, and I did see several young people, children, that were walking around the scene, potential witnesses. So, this might have been an establishment like a restaurant where, families were just trying to have dinner on a Sunday night, celebrating perhaps Cinco de Mayo tomorrow. We know that there's a big festival downtown, so who knows what exactly this event was at this establishment, or if people were just having dinner. But we did see several children around, and as you mentioned, children were seen in some of the video. We do not know the ages, though, of any of the shooting victims at this time.
All right, Nicole, we're going to be looking for an update at 9:30 when that public information officer comes back. Keep us updated and stay safe. We're going to check back in with you.
Sure will.
A senseless act of violence took the lives of 3 people, injured 5 others, and shattered our community. In memory of the innocent victims of this tragedy, their families, and the entire community, I would ask for everyone present in the chamber to please rise for a moment of silence.
And first on Fox, a moment of silence on the House floor in D.C. in honor of the people killed in a Glendale shooting on Sunday.
This as we now hear from the people who were there when those gunshots rang out, killing 3 people and injuring 5 others.
And Fox 10's Kenzie Beach is live tonight with more on what people are saying about what happened. Kenzie.
Yeah, Mark and Ellen, hundreds of people here last night, many of them thankful to be alive, but very shaken up as 3 lives were senselessly lost in this deadly mass shooting. Now we're learning it was a Sunday celebration, a concert and car show here at this outdoor venue space behind me when chaos broke out, but it was this actually the parking lot over my shoulder of this outdoor venue space where the shooting happened. I spoke to a lot of people that were here last night. They described the moments that the gunshots rang out right in front of them as mayhem. On a Sunday afternoon, witnesses say it's typically a family-friendly event centered on culture and connection. But just before 8 p.m. Sunday, the Owasa de Mayo event turned to chaos.
Probably about 5 feet in front of us, he just pulled out his gun and he started shooting. And it was just mayhem. Didn't really have any time to think and just started running.
You just start hearing the bullets go pow, 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 and then everybody starts screaming and as people saying, get down, get down.
Vendors and patrons like Andrew Barraza finding any place to hide, shielding themselves from gunfire.
See the flash and you hear the bang, it's hard to explain. It's instant panic.
Barraza finding the nearest door, a storage closet inside El Camarón Gigante with a handful of people waiting for the gunfire to stop.
People were like crying and everybody just trying to hide under tables. I personally was hiding under a table.
But it wasn't over.
Finally, we thought the shooting stopped and then everybody started kind of getting up a little bit and then boom, 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 and right again. There's probably over hundreds of rounds.
Police say it was a fight that started between 2 groups by the concert stage, seen in this video. Those involved in the fight were asked to leave. The fight spilled into the parking lot, quickly escalating. The gunfire was heard throughout this entire Glendale neighborhood. Police identified the 3 people killed as 21-year-old Milo Christopher Suniga and 2 brothers, 17-year-old Damian Sproul and 21-year-old Christopher Sproul. 5 other people were also shot and taken to the hospital.
It felt like an hour, but I know it was only like 5 minutes. Bro got shot.
Now, since the time that we've been on air, a small gathering has started in this parking lot over my shoulder. It's fair to assume these are friends or family of these victims. But in terms of the investigation, we know that Glendale police are looking for multiple shooters. That's what they've told us up to this point, as the parking lot was covered in shell casings. So they'll use those shell casing to determine how many shooters they're looking for. But as of right now, no arrests have been made in this case. Reporting live in Glendale, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
First on Fox tonight, we're hearing from 2 Valley families, both holding candlelight vigils for their loved ones lost in that shooting on Sunday in Glendale.
Yeah, 3 people were killed, 5 other people hurt as shots rang out during a Cinco de Mayo celebration. 3 days later, the families of those victims, they do not know what happened. Fox 10's Kenzie Beach is live now with more. Kenzie.
Well, yeah, Mark and Ellen, Glendale police are still trying to piece together what happened that night. They have now started an anonymous link where people can submit videos from that night. We've seen tons of videos circulating social media, but that shooting happened right here behind me, a Cinco de Mayo party. We're learning from Glendale police it all started inside this event. It was a fight that was taken outside to the parking lot where those 3 individuals died. The candlelit vigil here tonight where the shooting happened was for 21-year-old Milo Suniga. His friends, his family, visibly emotional, upset, and distraught as they're trying to find out what happened to him and the others that were shot and killed that night. 3 people shot to death, 5 others injured in the hospital. We spoke to the parents of Milo that are calling this a senseless shooting. Milo's parents just distraught. They've lost their son. We learned he was 21 years old, a hard worker, the parents tell us, and he had a lot of cousins, a very close, tight-knit family, but the gathering still happening here behind me. Let's take a listen to what Milo's parents had to say.
Been proud of that boy since the day he was born. I have been proud of him. He just surprised. He never ceases to amaze me. I love you. Be careful.
God bless you.
God bless you. And he never left the house without telling us, bye, Mama. Good night. You know, bye, Dad. I love you guys. I'll see you in a little bit. And I would always tell him, be careful. I love you. Drive safe. Look out for everyone else. I trust you. Just watch out for everyone else.
And he always came back every time he said it, too, except for the other night.
Now, a separate vigil was held for the 2 brothers that were shot to death. That vigil held in El Mirage, about 20 minutes away from downtown Glendale. The brothers' mother, Stephanie Ortega, speaking with Fox 10.
He's had that car, that one there. Hurt, like, that was my oldest son and my baby boy, and I'm without him now, and I don't know what to do.
Now we're here tonight in Glendale. The shooting took place here behind me. There were maybe 100 people that were here tonight for Milo's candlelit vigil. Again, the family's holding 2 separate vigils. A lot more questions than answers for these parents and for a lot of people that were in attendance tonight. We talked to a lot of people that were there that night. Thankful it wasn't much worse. Obviously, lives were lost and a lot of people put in the hospital that night. But as I mentioned, Glendale police they've now started an anonymous link where people can upload videos and photos from Sunday night. A lot of those videos are circulating social media, but Glendale police saying a lot of people are not coming forward, so they want to be able to put those pieces together and find who they're looking for. Glendale police have told us they are looking for multiple shooters as there were dozens of shell casings on the ground of that parking lot that night. Glendale police know there were multiple guns used. Reporting live in Glendale, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
Turning to our other top story tonight, a 911 call ends with an innocent man being shot to death by Glendale police.
Tonight we hear from the woman who made the call in an interview you will only see on Fox 10. Nicole Christine joins us here in the studio with more on the story and the woman's message to others. Nicole.
And it's a pretty powerful message from this woman. She says that she was a victim of domestic violence. She tells me her call for help was to keep her and her kids safe, but now she's calling for accountability after an innocent man was killed.
Keep your hands, Angelo, hands up. Suspect's still up and moving. It's a 998 for us. We're code 4. Guys.
To come to find out, it was 4 times that they shot him. Yeah, that's excessive.
Giselle Borquez doesn't know Dylan Seebeck, the man shot and killed by Glendale police the night of January 8th, but she called 911 for help that night because of a different man, her violent partner, Angelo. But when officers arrived, they believed Dylan Seebeck was her partner and that he was armed when an officer shot him multiple times. Not only did police have the wrong man, he was also unarmed. Giselle says a night that was already terrifying for her turned into an agonizing wait for information.
What was going on at the park, I was very much left in the dark a bit. The police officer that was with me in my home was letting me know that another situation had happened in the park but that they couldn't tell me quite yet because they were still trying to figure it out.
That information coming to Giselle the next day, but through the news, not the police.
They had told me that somebody else from like the Peoria Police Department would be coming to speak to me, and that did not happen.
Giselle left with a lot to process.
I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to do. You know, I had this sort of grief already happening, then to have the death of an innocent person going on as well. I didn't know how to feel. I remember feeling a lot of guilt because I'm the person that made the phone call. And never did I imagine what it was going to result in.
Glendale police sharing this past week that the Maricopa County Attorney's Office declined charges in the officer-involved shooting, which Giselle says is unfair to Seebeck and his loved ones.
Dylan had nothing to do with the situation. I mean, he was just at a park. So now you can't even sit at a park without worrying that, you know, just because something else is going on around you, now you could be involved and you could be murdered. I'm just so sorry to his family that they have to deal with that.
Now, a law firm representing the interests of Dylan Seebeck called for accountability in this case after it happened. We did reach out to see if that law firm intends to file a notice of claim to dispute these denied charges, but we are still waiting to hear back. So really a tragic story there.
Horrible all the way around.
Yeah, and you can understand why she feels guilt, but it's not her fault.
Not her fault. She was doing what was best for herself, for her kids, and clearly such a brave woman to now speak out for somebody she didn't even know.
That's true.
Yeah.
But first, a man is accused of stealing 2 Amazon vehicles on the same day and killing a grandmother in a crash while driving one of them.
It happened Friday night in Phoenix near 16th Street in Jefferson, and Nicole Christine is live with the very latest for us tonight. Nicole.
Well, good evening, Ashley and Brian. Elizabeth Ramos was just trying to get to work Wednesday night when Isaiah Sparks drove a vehicle the wrong way, and by the way, a stolen vehicle, and crashed into the car she was in here at 16th and Jefferson Streets.
This collision caused the death of a person.
Standing before a Maricopa County judge this week, Isaiah Sparks was read the 7 charges against him in the fatal wreck Wednesday night near downtown Phoenix.
Where the defendant was actually driving on Jefferson Street is technically a residential area, so it's a 25-mile-per-hour zone. The detectives were able to do CDR analysis, so they were able to download the airbag control module of the vehicle and learn that about 4 seconds prior to the collision, the defendant was traveling 74 miles per hour.
Prosecutors say Sparks then ran away without a care for those he injured and left for dead.
He did not render any aid to the victims. He did not stay and call 911 or help any other civilians that were there rendering aid to the victims.
One of the victims, Elizabeth Ramos, died from her injuries. Her family not ready to speak about her death yet, but pointing Fox 10 to a GoFundMe that says Elizabeth was the heart of her family. Meanwhile, prosecutors say the vehicle Sparks was in when he hit Ramos was stolen earlier that day.
The collision happened about 9 o'clock at night. Around 2:30 p.m., the vehicle that the defendant was traveling in was stolen by a person who was matching the defendant's description. That vehicle was stolen from a woman who was working essentially as an Amazon driver, but in her own vehicle delivering packages. When she went to deliver a package to a home, she left the vehicle running and the defendant stole that vehicle.
Then Sparks stole another Amazon vehicle.
She had left her cell phone in the vehicle, so she was actually able to track the location of where the vehicle was located. When law enforcement arrived at that location, they found the defendant in that vehicle, and he again fled the scene on foot.
Prosecutors saying they consider Sparks not only a danger to the community, but also a flight risk.
He fled the scene after a fatal collision. He fled after he stole that second vehicle from law enforcement.
And the judge setting Sparks' bond at $250,000 cash only. His next court date is set for May 8th. We do have a link to the GoFundMe that Elizabeth's family has put together on our website, fox10phoenix.com. Reporting live tonight in Phoenix, Nicole Christine, Fox 10 News.
All right, sad news there. Nicole, thank you for that report.
Now to this story, the first of its kind for artificial intelligence. A Valley man killed during a road rage incident speaks in court from beyond the grave.
Yeah, it happened during the victim impact statements directed at the killer. Fox 10's Nicole Christine has the details tonight.
To Gabriel Horcasitas, the man who shot me. It is a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances.
Chris Pelkey's voice and likeness ringing out in a courtroom 3.5 years after his death. But how? We'll let Chris tell you.
I am a version of Chris Pelkey recreated through AI that uses my picture and my voice profile.
The artificial intelligence generated video, an idea that initially came to Chris's big sister Stacy as she collected victim impact statements and prepared her own.
We received 49 letters that the judge was able to read before walking into sentencing that day. But there was one missing piece. There was one voice that was not in those letters.
So Stacy turned to her husband Tim and their friend Scott Yenser, who together have been working with artificial intelligence technology for years. The process to bring Chris back, though, painstaking from a technological standpoint.
There's no tool out there that you can just go and say, here's a voice file, here's a picture, please make it come to life, and this is what I wanted to say. So they're scrounging and using this tool and that tool and this tool and this script and this audio and this image and trying to mash it all together and make a Frankenstein of love.
Then to decide what the real Chris would say.
I have my own thoughts and feelings about how much time I wanted the sentence to be. If I forgive the shooter or not. I have very definitive opinions about that. But it was important not to make Chris say what I was feeling and to detach and let him speak, because he said things that would never come out of my mouth, but I know would come out of his.
In another life, we probably could have been friends. I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. I always have, and I still do.
That message, one that moved Judge Todd Lang.
I love that AI. Thank you for that. I feel that that was genuine, that his obvious forgiveness of Mr. Horcasitas reflects the character I heard about today.
Also moved was Chris's big brother John, who, along with the rest of the family, Stacy chose not to tell about the AI video in order to get their genuine reaction.
There was something about seeing Chris and the man that I knew and the belief that I thought in my head that Chris would have forgiven this guy. But to see his face and to hear his voice say it, just waves of healing washed over my soul, because that was the man that I knew.
John commending his sister for bringing their beloved baby brother back for a couple minutes.
And my sister did an exceptional job of detaching herself from her own opinions, her own desires, her own feelings on the matter, and put herself in Chris's shoes. What would Chris say if he were here? It was the beginning of empathy.
But Stacy says the process became easy once she focused on Chris.
He was the best one of us. What he believed was clear. What he believed was pure. And what he loved was for everyone. And that's the reason why this worked, is because his blanket of love.
Well, I'm gonna go fishing now. Love you all. See you on the other side.
Incredible stuff there. Chris's killer, by the way, got nearly 13 years in prison. We have much more on this unique story at fox10phoenix.com.
Hello. Just to be clear for everyone seeing this, I am a version of Chris Pelkey recreated through AI that uses my picture and my voice profile. I was able to be digitally regenerated to share with you today.
It is groundbreaking. A Valley road rage shooting victim addressing his killer in court using artificial intelligence. It's a story we first aired on Fox 10. We heard from the family, who says this brought them some degree of closure. But still now, a lot of questions remain about the use of this technology in a courtroom. The key to this, the AI video, was played during the sentencing after Chris Pelkey's killer had already been convicted.
And Fox 10's Nicole Christine is live tonight. And Nicole, you were hearing from a retired judge who's commending the family for the way that they went about it.
Yeah, that's right, John and Ellen. Mel McDonald has worked within the Arizona judicial system for years, retired now, but he worked as a prosecutor, a judge, and a defense lawyer over the years. He says that it is how and when this technology was used that he finds highly effective and compelling.
I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. I always have, and I still do.
It had a
huge impact on me.
Retired Maricopa County Judge Mel McDonald spent years working homicide cases and says one thing was always missing.
The person you didn't hear from or didn't appreciate was the decedent.
Gabriel Horcasitas shot and killed Chris Pelkey more than 3 years ago. But during Horcasitas' sentencing, Chris Pelkey's voice and likeness filled the courtroom, sharing a message of forgiveness directly to his killer.
It is a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances. In another life, we probably could have been friends.
A message that moved Judge Todd Lang.
I love that AI. Thank you for that. I feel that that was genuine, that obvious forgiveness of Mr. Horcasitas.
McDonald sharing a similar reaction after viewing the video.
I'll tell you, had I been sitting in his shoes and wearing the robes, I would have been similarly impressed.
McDonald says the specific use of this technology during sentencing proceedings was crucial to its success.
There are going to be critics, but they picked the right forum to do it. In a trial with a jury, you couldn't do it. But with sentencing, everything is open in the door.
Chris's sister Stacy, who put together the video with her husband and their friend, told Fox 10 she had to reserve her own judgment when writing the statement.
It was important not to make Chris say what I was feeling and to detach and let him speak, because he said things that would never come out of my mouth, but I know would come out of his.
And McDonald believes those words made all the difference.
The power of it was that the judge had to see the gentleness, the kindness, the feeling of sincerity, and having his sister say, well, we don't agree with it. This is what he would have wanted the court to know.
And McDonald reiterating that he thinks that artificial intelligence being used during sentencings like this will be upheld in court. He also said that defense teams need to be ready to rebuttal, but only if they can really point out inaccuracies, because hearsay and other things like that are admissible during sentencing. Now, Stacey Wales, when we talked to her, she said defendants need to watch out because this really could be a game changer. Reporting live tonight in Phoenix, Nicole Christine, Fox 10 News.
Yeah, it is fascinating. Nicole, thank you for the update tonight.
A deadly crash under investigation. This is in the Mesa area.
All right, so our Daniel Miller's on scene right there at Mesa Drive, very close to the Superstition, the US 60. She joins us live. Daniel.
Well, good morning. Yeah, so this is just north of the 60 here. You guys can take a look behind me. This is where it happened. The scene is since cleared, but you can see there is one vehicle that was involved here remaining on scene. This was a single vehicle crash, but how this happened, according to the Mesa Police Department, there was a man. He was driving a vehicle at high rates of speed here. He hopped this median here, so there is kind of a side street in front of the homes here along Mesa Drive, and somehow that car went over that median and then crashed into multiple vehicles lining this street here. Unfortunately, that man was ejected from his vehicle. He did die. Here on scene, nobody else inside of that vehicle and no one else was hurt here. But yeah, a lot of damage. Multiple vehicles had to be towed away from the scene here because of the extent of the damage. So we do know speed was a factor in this crash. And at this time, the roadway is open. It was completely shut down as the Mesa Police Department investigated. All of this happened right around 12:30. But once again, Mesa Drive is completely back open and still just that one vehicle here on scene. Everything else has since been cleared.
Fox 10 News alert. Skeletal remains have been found near 50th Street in Van Buren in Phoenix. Phoenix police say this is on the property of the Tovry Castle. They say that a demolition crew, they were preparing to demo a nearby older home when those remains of an unknown person, they were found. Now, police are on the scene right now. You can see the crime scene. Response unit is there. The medical examiner will be taking a closer look at the remains and trying to identify.
And we begin with a Fox 10 News alert in the murder of a well-known pastor in New River.
Law enforcement has been tight-lipped since the initial call on Monday, but multiple sources are confirming to Fox 10 some disturbing details as to how the body of the man was found.
And Fox 10's Lauren Clark has been following this story. She joins us live now with what we can confirm. Lauren.
Well, Mark and Ellen, these details certainly are disturbing, and as a reporter, it's upsetting to share these types of details with you, but multiple sources have confirmed that Bill was found in his bed, his arms spread out, and his hands pinned to the wall. Now, MCSO is not sharing a lot of details in this case. They have not told this community if there could be a suspect on the loose. They've also not shared any type of information about a motive or why. They've only said that there are special and unique circumstances surrounding this case. But now, a lot of people who live here in New River, who knew Bill and loved him, they want to reflect more about his life than how he died.
Everybody knows him out here. It's just really, we're all at a loss for words.
Mike Anders says days later, he still can't believe his neighbor of 12 years, Bill Shaneman, is gone.
So super friendly. Anytime we were going to the mailbox or walking the dogs or anything, he was always so friendly to talk or wave to you, or he was always building his little Peterbilt trucks and driving them around.
The 76-year-old pastor at New River Bible found murdered in his Calvary Road home Monday night. Driving into work Tuesday morning, Mike saw the yellow crime scene tape and rows of undercover cop cars in the driveway.
Came home like 10 hours later, they were still all here, so I knew it was something bad.
Without much information, many people in the small community are on edge too.
We locked our doors last night, which is something we're not used to doing. And, everybody's just kind of, until we find out what's going on, we don't know if it was like a family member or we don't know who could do this to him.
And while he didn't know Bill personally, Jimmy, who's lived in New River for 28 years, shares his condolences to his family while clinging to his faith.
I know as a believer that he's with Jesus Christ and that he's in a better place.
And we just received new information from MCSO just moments ago that there is no threat to this community, they believe. We've also spoken to many people here, many neighbors, and they say they couldn't believe what happened, and they have no idea who would want to harm Bill or why. Reporting live here in New River, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.